Hello and welcome back to another afternoon reading with the Mufasa coaching practice. So this is a part of our Mufasa daily reading at noon special. And yeah, we're reading from the Energy Leadership book by Bruce D. Schneider. And it's such a pleasure to have you here today. We're going to be reading from the ninth chapter, Removing Obstacles to Success. Yesterday's chapter was about level 2, and it was discussing the big four energy blocks, which are limiting beliefs that we hold, false assumptions from the past that we bring to today, the false interpretations that we make, the fear that we're not enough, the inner critic, um, or what we sometimes called a gremlin. And yeah, so Richard and Bruce held a team meeting with the O'Connell Consulting staff and worked through these energy blocks, the four energy blocks, and this is what has transpired since then. This chapter is gonna shock you if you've been following the story and the battle between Don and Tonya. Then you're gonna appreciate the turnover that's happened today because of Bruce, sharing this energy leadership with us as well as with O'Connell Consulting, and with Richard, who is a conscious leader, who's decided to be a conscious leader, and therefore working on his energy level, and that's transpired into his whole company and really shifted some things. So let me start reading. If you have missed yesterday's reading, you know that we are available. These readings are available on our YouTube channel. So click on the link and follow it to our YouTube channel. Ensure that you subscribe to our channel because we have some amazing content on there as well. So subscribe to the content, and yeah, leave a comment of what you've enjoyed so far, what you've enjoyed most about our readings. Okay, let's start. Open the card. So yes, I've opened the card there, so you can let me know which chapter have you enjoyed most so far. Okay, let me set my timer for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Right. Removing obstacles to success. Level 3. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms: to choose one's own attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Viktor Frankl, neurologist, psychiatrist, and Holocaust survivor. The day before our next scheduled appointment, Richard called to tell me some. And when they talked, Don no longer focused the conversation on getting rid of Tanya. He seemed to have dropped that line of thinking altogether. In the last couple of weeks, Richard said, Don has been much more engaged, and I haven't heard one shouting match between him and Tanya. The good news continued, and even though Don's title was marketing director, he had started taking some of the sales work on himself and even secured a few new accounts. This meant that not only was he making Richard's life easier, but he was also bringing in some welcome income. But here's the part that had me a little rattled. I'm wondering if this is just the quiet before the storm, because Tanya had asked to speak with me immediately. What she has to say won't wait, she tells me. So I'm scheduled to see her first thing tomorrow morning. Do you think that my spending so much time with Dawn has sent her over the edge? I cautioned Richard about the traps of assumption and interpretations, and reminded him that if he didn't fret in advance, his energy wouldn't be unnecessarily zapped. He'd find out what was really going on soon enough. Richard said he'd prefer it if we didn't delay my arrival the next day. Could I stop by for the meeting with Tonya? He already asked her about that and she said it would be fine. Sure, I told him, but I was wondering if a part of him had slipped back into level 1 and wanted me there as a crutch. So I wouldn't have to speculate, I mentioned my concern. Oh no, he replied. You misunderstood me. I don't need you there. I want you there. So we can both see how well I handle myself in this challenging situation. Music to my ears. Now I was looking forward to the next day. When I arrived, Christina greeted me warmly. That's a new one, I thought. I like it. She said she loved the team meeting and she was feeling optimistic. But because of the meeting and the other changes underway, both because of the meeting and the other changes underway at the company, she thanked me for my help. This was a new woman. Indeed, her desk was organized, her boxes were gone. In a word, the reception area and especially Christina looked fresh. Expressing my appreciation for her, I saw that Richard was already on his way to the front door before she could alert him to my arrival. Even though we might be on our way to facing Tanya's wrath, Richard seemed calm and confident. Hi there, Christina, and good morning, Bruce. Good to see you both, he said cheerfully. Excuse us, Christina. Tanya's waiting for us in her office, unless you need anything before we start. He raised his eyebrows at Christina, who shook her head in response. Okay, Bruce, let's get to it. Great. No waffling, no buying time, no avoidance, and he's treating Christina like someone who's important to him. Let's get to it, indeed. Tanya's office looked different from the last time I visited. She had redecorated, added plants, put some pictures on the wall, and made one addition that startled both Richard and me. Don Taylor stood beside her desk. He invited us in and closed the door behind us like a father lion protecting Tanya's sacred den. Before anyone even spoke, he had provided some significant details. First, since Richard was unaware of Don's presence in Tanya's office, I figured that Don and Tanya must have been working since early morning before Richard arrived. Was this the beginning of a partnership? Second, the two of them were interacting comfortably, arranging things for us and putting us at ease. This was obviously a well-choreographed meeting. Third, the mere fact that Don had closed the door showed a newfound conscientiousness about privacy. I couldn't wait to hear what they had to say. Richard, Bruce, Tanya began. Don and I have been discussing a few things that happened recently. One was the meeting about a month or so ago where Richard said he'd stick with us until the end if it came. It was clear then how truly dedicated to the company you are, she said, nodding at Richard while she spoke. Next, the group meeting you ran, Bruce, was an eye-opener for us both. We realized our actions had affected Richard and how our perceptions had been skewed. We apologize for that. This time Don was nodding. Here's where we are now. We want to help, and we've decided that instead of counting on everyone else, it's up to us to take matters into our own hands. We spent a great deal of time drawing up the beginning of a new marketing plan. It's excellent, Don added. If we do say so ourselves, he chuckled and patted Tanya on the shoulder. Richard was stunned, relieved, yet still skeptical. He couldn't help but wonder, when does the boom get lowered? But there was no boom, except for the booming silence from Richard. Emotionally overwhelmed, all he could manage was a quiet thank you as he took the plan. Then started to snap out of it. He promised to study it carefully and talk with them soon about implementations. It appeared that the two of the Fantastic Four had just become the dynamic duo. Listen, Richard, Don said. We've got something important to ask you. In addition to the collaboration on the marketing plan, we've been reviewing personnel and considering where we can make some improvements. We need to ask you to do something difficult. Honestly, it's not that difficult for us, for Tanya and me. I mean, because we're not close to him. But it's Nate. You know the numbers, Richard. The guy's dragging all of us down. We want you to consider letting him go. Unfazed by this potentially negative turn into the conversation, Richard said, Don, you're right, that this is an important issue to address. Let me assure you that I'm on it. Don regarded Richard's Don regarded Richard like a parent honoring a child. Tanya crossed her arms in front of her chest, looking unsatisfied with Richard's non-answer. Look, if you decide you want one of us to give him the boot, you just say the word. We can take care of this for you. Thanks, Tanya. I'll let you know what I want to do. I'll see you both later. And I mean it. And I mean it. You guys, thanks. With that, Richard and I left Dawn and Tanya in her office. I nudged Richard. That was a nice surprise, wasn't it? I asked. You know it, Richard affirmed, still beaming. Hey, what did you think about Tanya saying that instead of counting on everyone else, they decided to take things in their own hands? Doesn't that sound like a shift to level 3, taking responsibility? Great insight, Richard. Why level 3 and not level 4? He thought for a moment and then asked for a hint. What message did they give you about the others in the company? I prodded. Ah, I get it, he exclaimed. They still judged the others as inadequate. They released blame and anger towards everyone else and shifted the focus onto themselves, which is definitely level 3. At level 4, there would have been no blame, and maybe they would also seek to help the others do their jobs better, or seek their advice on how to make other improvements. Really, Bruce, this is getting exciting. Not only experiencing these levels for myself, but also seeing the people around me changing too. It makes me feel more like a leader knowing that I had a hand in it, but more than that, I can see how the success of the company hinges on all of this, and I'm very encouraged. We were at his office door now, and I looked at my new chair with undisguised delight. This lovely piece of furniture was one of the several upgrades Richard had made as part of O'Connell Consulting's facelift. Apparently, they were going for a look of casual luxury, and it was obvious the chair and the accessories they had selected cost the company no small amount, but they were unpretentious and inviting. Hey, Richard, I teased, assessing the posh new environment. What's going on here? You mean, what's a guy doing spending money on top grade leather and new carpet when the ship's sinking? I have a little secret to share with you. I haven't emailed you about it because I wanted to tell you in person. Remember, I've been having team meetings with several groups in the company, including sales. Well, that started to pay off. Couple it with the fact that Don has been attracting a few new clients with O'Connell Consulting is making a major financial shift. We're not sinking. We're not living off our cushion anymore, and we're not throwing money away either. I mean, this is a big deal. Profits are up. Up, Bruce. Sounds like that closes off our reading for today. Really good place to stop. Yes, really good place to stop. So it's nice to see the company doing so well just because of the energy shift in Richard. as in Richard, as well as in Tonya and Don, because that was like two bulls in like the same crow. And now, we're having a little bit more ease. I mean, this is a lot more ease, and a lot more ease between Don and Tonya. So it's really, really good to see. So I'm going to read the rest of the chapter and fill you in on what happens tomorrow. Be back with us at 12 o'clock for our next reading, chapter 10. So we're going to be done with this book this week. Next week, we'll have something for you as well. Tomorrow's chapter is Putting Your Heart into Your Job, which is level 4. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Let me know which chapter have you enjoyed most so far. And if you'd like a refresher, obviously, you can go and scroll down into our page, or you can definitely go to our YouTube channel and make sure that you leave a comment and interact with us on there as well. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, wait, actually, we have some comments. So let's go into some of our comments here. We have a comment by Jacques who says, from conflict personified to dynamic duo. Well done, Don and Tanya. This is so true. When I read that passage, I said, wow, if Don and Tanya can turn things around, anything is possible. I love it. I love it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for participating and for being here. And remember to share this with your organization. Remember, we are all part of various organizations. As long as there's two of you, as long as there's a team, your family, you're in your career, wherever it is that you have a group, share this information with them, and let's all raise our energy levels. Thank you and goodbye.